Good day, Board of Directors, elected committees, specially invited guests, staff, and members. The 2022 financial year opened with the previously detected Omicron variant of COVID-19 spreading on a wider scale, and many countries were forced to reimpose restrictions, putting further pressure on an already strained economic environment. In spite of almost 2 years of governments combating the economic fallout, supply disruptions, headline inflation, and the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, the outlook for 2022 continued to be uncertain both regionally and globally. Negative GDP growth, coupled with the ongoing pandemic, continued to contribute to the credit union's reduced income generation through loans and investment income. Interest on the loan portfolio is a major contributor to the credit union's income, accounting for, on average, 82% of the income. As a result of the weakened economic environment, the credit union had to pivot and find a more focused strategy of managing the loan portfolio risk. The strategy of using direct marketing to target members allowed for the credit union to increase loans by 1.4 million in 2022. In spite of these challenges, the credit union achieved a surplus of 11.4 million and was able to declare a dividend of 3.2%. The objective of this presentation is to summarize the financial statements, highlight the relevant PERLS ratio, and other legislative changes that might impact the credit union's financials, share with you the dividend declared. I will now hand you over to the Finance and Accounting Manager to give a more detailed analysis on the credit union's financial performance.
Good day, Board of Directors, elected committees, specially invited guests, staff, and members. The credit union achieved a surplus of 11.4 million in 2022, a 0.38 million or 3.2 decrease in total income when compared with the surplus of 11.8 million in 2021. Operating revenue realized was 20 million, a 1.7 million or 7.7% decrease as compared with 2021. Operating expenditure of 8.5 million, a 1.3 million or 13% reduction in operating expenditure as compared with 2021. Total comprehensive income for 2022 was 8.8 million. There was a reduction of 2.8 million as a result of the negative impact of the global impact on the local investment market. The total income of the credit union is comprised of three major components: loan interest income, investment income, and other income. Despite all of the credit union's effort to diversify the loan portfolio and offer loan sales, loan interest income realized in 2022 was 16.4 million, a decrease of 6.9% over 2021's 17.6 million. This decrease was mainly attributed to additional revenue recovered in 2021 from the sale of properties, which also reduced bad debts. Investment income received in 2022 was 0.3 million, a decline of 15.35% or 552,000 over 2021, which was 3.6 million. This is as a result of the fluctuating foreign exchange rates during the financial year, as well as the non-payment on the investment which went into receivership and is now before the courts. Other income, made up of rental income and miscellaneous income, totaled $506,830. There was an increase of 36.2% in 2022 in the other income category due to the increase in revenue earned from CUNA as a result of the increase in loans booked. Expenditure for 2022 was 8.6 million, a decrease of 13% over 2021's 9.9 million. A major expense item for 2022 as compared with 2021 were as follows. Office security and maintenance, there was an increase of 0.3 million between 2021 and 2022. This increase was due to 24-hour security. Blink Vigilance has now been installed. This cost will be reduced in 2023. The building required remedial work during the rainy season Insurances increased due to the change in the value of the internal assets of the credit union, the increase in the value of the property. Other administrative expenses increased by $0.2 million in 2022, mainly attributed to staff returning to work full-time as a result of operating costs increased. Depreciation increased due to the increased valuation of the property in late 2021, which took effect in 2022. Donation increased by 65% due to the terrible flooding in the third quarter of 2022. $55,000 was spent to assist members who suffered from floods. Professional fees increased by $0.3 million due to the temporary recruitment to cover persons on maternity leave and to assist with the digital filing system. The Statement of Financial Position measures the assets and liabilities of the credit union. As at the end of 2022, there was an increase in investments of $3.5 million or 2.97% between 2021 and 2022, moving from $117.3 million in 2021 to $120.8 million in 2022. This was as a result of $4 million TSTT short-term note. Loans to members after allowance for expected credit losses increased by $1.4 million or 1.06% between 2021 and 2022. Total assets increased by 0.89% between 2021 and 2022. Member shares increased by 1.2% or 2.7 million. Members' equity showed an overall increase of 0.8% from $89 million in 2021 to $89.7 million in 2022 as a result of the negative impact of the investment reserve. I now hand you over to the General Manager to review the impact of the financials on the PERS ratio and other legislative changes.
PERS measure the key areas of the credit union's operations. The ratios below show the credit union is in a sound position. Institutional capital to total assets represent how effective the financial structure of the credit union is. The benchmark for this ratio is 10%. The credit union achieved a ratio of 22.15% in 2022 and 21.35% in 2021. Net loans to total assets is, however, below the benchmark of 70 to 80%, representing 38.86% in 2022 and 38.8% in 2021. The credit union continues to focus on this ratio as part of their resilience planning. These lower rates are a direct result of the decline in loans over the reporting period. Operating expenses to total assets, which represent how efficiently the assets are being utilized in direct relation to expenses, is 2.5% for 2022 and 2.87% for 2021. The benchmark for this ratio is less than 10%. The credit union's delinquency to total loan portfolio was 7.45% for 2022, a decrease of 0.11% over 2021's 7.56%. This rate continues to be a concern to the Board of Directors. Proposed legislative changes. In January 2019, a subcommittee of Cabinet was appointed to investigate and determine the future role of the credit union sector in national development. A recommendation of this Cabinet subcommittee was that legislative changes should be made for a mandatory credit union deposit insurance scheme to be established in which all credit unions would be members. It was also recommended that this scheme should be managed by the Deposit Insurance Corporation. It should be noted that this legislation is not yet passed and is expected to be passed by early 2024. Here's how this legislation, if passed, would impact the credit union. There would be an expense increase from an average of $50,000 paid annually to $1 million when the legislation goes into effect given 2022 deposit balances. There would be a change from Trinidad and Tobago Credit Union Deposit Insurance Fund, TDQDIF, administering the insurance fund, to Credit Union Deposit Insurance Scheme, QDIS, administering the fund. The coverage limit for QDIS for each member of an individual credit union shall be $125,000. The insurance coverage for TDQDIF is $50,000 deposits and $125,000 unencumbered shares. It should be noted that QDIS shall be established within 2 years of the independent authority being passed into law. The law is scheduled to be passed in early 2024. In conclusion, the directors met and declared a dividend rate of 3.2% as at the 31st December 2022, with a value of $7.3 million. In addition, they declared an interest rebate of 5% and 6% on ordinary and demand loans, an achievement considering the economic environment that the credit union is operating in. To summarize, the main items of this presentation are as follows: net surplus $11.4 million, total income $19.9 million, operating expenses $8.6 million, total asset growth 0.89%, members' equity 0.76% increase, reserves 5.4% increase, delinquency 7.45%, dividend declared 3.2%. On behalf of the Board of Directors, management, and staff, I would like to thank you for your continued support in helping us enhance the quality of life of its members while maintaining long-term financial security. Thank you.